Hey, Jesse, you going to tell us about these new wheels you have on the car?
Absolutely.
All right, Atomic Wheels coming up next on Now You Know.
Perfect.
All right, so before we get into all the details on how you've been doing with your new Atomic Wheels, I wanted to tell everyone about the fact that we're partnering with Atomic, and we've gotten them to do a giveaway of some Atomic Wheels.
Yeah, I'm so excited that we got to work with Atomic Wheels and we convinced them to do a giveaway for our viewers, and that could be you.
That's right. So the link is down below. You can get a full set of forged wheels from In-Stock Options. So head on over there right now, because why not? There's a good chance you could win. Also, second prize is a set of titanium lug nuts. So that is awesome, because we have the titanium lug nuts on here and they look really good. Now, this is a 2018 Model 3, right?
Yes.
Very early.
Pretty early.
And why did you want to put these wheels on?
I mean, I love this car. This is the first new car I've ever bought. It's the first Tesla I've ever owned. So I love it, but it did feel dated. I mean, when I first bought it, I was the only Model 3 on the road practically, and now there's a million Teslas on the road. So it just doesn't feel all that special anymore. So putting these wheels on it really gives it that kind of nice look. The other thing is tires. I know you're like, but why do you get wheels if you're talking about tires? I like getting winter tires because winter tires perform well in the winter. They perform better than all seasons or all weather, in my opinion, for winter driving. But then in the summer, then you'd have to change them out for something else. And so I'd either have to take it to my, tire guy, and he'd have to basically take the wheels off, swap the tires, give me the tires back. I'd have to drive it all back. It was a pain, a huge pain, and it costs a lot of money. It costs like $40 just per wheel just to get them changed. I know you might have a tire guy that's cheaper, but it's still an expense. And so now I get to have a nice sporty summer tire in the summer and a nice winter tire for the winter, and it just feels so much nicer, and I get to change them myself. And look at this, it's so, whoa. I mean, it's not a performance Model 3 or anything, but it feels really good, especially with summer tires.
Now, you've been driving around for a few days now doing some testing, and not only for performance reasons, but also for efficiency. Mm-hmm. And what have you noticed compared to your winter tires? Because one of the problems was you used to have to keep basically an all season, or a lot of times you actually kept your winter tires on in the summer. Right. So have you noticed a difference in efficiency?
Yes. Surprisingly, even though I don't have the aero covers on anymore, the efficiency did go up just because the tire compound is more efficient, which is really, really nice because winters are usually too soft and sticky in the summer. So that reduces your range. They're also usually a bit louder. Now, I didn't spring for the fancy kind that have the foam on the inside. I wanted just performance. I didn't care how quiet the tires were. But obviously you can do whatever you want. And that way the tires last longer because you're obviously swapping them out for the seasons that they're actually designed to be in. And I mean, I would always forget, like you said, like I swapped these out for winters. It's August. I should not have been driving around in winters in August. The problem is it's such a pain to have to schedule with the tire guy, bring it in, bring all the tires with me, which means I have to clean out the whole car and everything. So by having an extra set of wheels, and you could buy your wheels from Tesla, it's just not as, everybody has those wheels. So having a sporty set of wheels is really fun. Plus they're cheaper than Teslas. So I don't know, that makes a lot of sense to me too.
The other thing is it seems like you're going to save time because it's at least a day of your time to get your winter switched to summer and then your summer switched to winter. Because if you think about it, twice a year, if you're not doing it yourself, and like you just said, if you don't have a second set of wheels to put them on, then unless you have all the machines, which who has the machines, right, then you have to bring it in. So that's twice a year that you have to dedicate to thinking about that, which is like, I don't know, it's just often enough that it's a pain.
Well, and also, even if I did have the tire changing machine, because I mean, the one at Harbor Freight is looking pretty...
You're excited about that.
Pretty good looking. But I mean, let's say I did have it, then I'd have to literally take a tire off the car, leave it on the jack, right? So the brake pad is just sitting right above the asphalt. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'd throw a jack stand under there, but I'm not going to take all 4 tires off. I don't have a lift. Right. I'm not set up for that, but I can change one tire at a time. It's just I wouldn't want to take off the wheel, have to then do the tire change. What if I mess something up? What if there's a problem? Also, if I do get a flat tire, I just go, I have an extra wheel. Yeah. It's not ideal, but it can get me home.
Yeah, that's a perfect point. Yeah, and I just want to talk about the fact that once you've got the different sets of wheels, that you can change them yourself. Now, the first time we did it, it seemed like a big deal, and then no longer does to us. It's so easy. It really does only take us 20 minutes.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you have the right jack and if you have a torque wrench, you're pretty much all set. Maybe an impact driver and the right sockets, and that's it.
I feel like it's a skill that everyone should have because it's something that will save you at some point, and it's something that'll save you a lot of money and time over the life if you're driving.
Exactly.
All right, now, wheels aren't the kind of thing that most people get every day. And so when you ordered these, how do they arrive? And are they like in boxes, or does someone, like, how do you get them?
Yeah, so they come in boxes. So there's 4 wheels, 4 boxes, and you're going to need to get some tires to put on them. You're also going to need to get a TPMS sensor to put in there, each one. And you can order those from Atomic as well. I would suggest it. They have a pretty decent price for TPMSs. It was cheaper than I paid at my local tire shop, $60 a piece. And yeah, you get to take them out of the box. You can look at them, or you just leave them in the box, drive them over to the tire shop, or do it yourself, however you choose to do it.
So, I mean, everyone's going to ask you about the performance of the new wheels. What was it like with the old Tesla wheels versus these new Atomic wheels?
Right, so I had the bog standard 18-inch Aero wheels that came with my Model 3, and they were fine. They were great. They were energy efficient and all sorts of stuff like that. These are just a little bit punchier.
Oh,
It's got a little bit more, just a little, you know, and I think that that's kind of fun. It's fun to be squeezing out the maximum amount of performance out of what is already a really fun car to drive.
All right, so a lot of people are going to ask questions about handling. Mm-hmm. And so you've had this for a few days, you've been driving around, being a little more squirrely than normal. And what have you found?
Well, the tires are actually lighter. And you might go, okay, so your car is what, like 4 pounds lighter? But no, I mean, if each tire is about 1 pound lighter, that's less energy that the actual car has to get rolling, which is a significant amount of energy. So it is a little bit peppier, like quite literally. Interesting. Which is nice because normally you're not really thinking about that. It's oftentimes one of the reasons why you will get such, you know, high performance wheels. It's because it literally is a lighter wheel. It's easier to get spinning.
Interesting. And so the wheel itself, we're going to put the specs up now. This is actually a little bit lighter than the stock Tesla wheel?
Exactly, yeah. And I even went for a larger size, so these are 19s as opposed to the 18s, which I replaced, and they're still lighter, just themselves.
Here we have the OEM 61.20 pounds. This is our AWZZ 19 by 9.5, 50.40 pounds. And finally, our AWZZ 18 by 8.5, sitting at 46.80 pounds. That's a huge difference, guys.
And you also have to keep in mind that that means that the rubber is going to be lighter as well. So you're gonna have to do all that math, but having a couple very strong pieces of forged steel stick out is, in a lot of cases, lighter than having that entire 1-inch radius of rubber.
Interesting. So these are forged, but what does that mean, forged? Is there a guy with a giant hammer?
No, it's actually a 10,000 pound press. And so they use that to basically make a very, very strong wheel. It has to be strong because it's so light and pretty looking compared to your typical wheel, which might be cast or, you know, just made out of bent steel.
So let's give a tip here for people. Talk about the TPMS monitors, because that's something I'm not like as familiar with.
Right, so normally when you buy a car, it comes with wheels on it, right? And which means that you don't have to worry about all the things that go along with the wheels, such as the tires, and in this case, the TPMS monitor.
What does that stand for?
Tire pressure monitoring system.
Okay, but what is it?
It's basically each of the 4 tires has a wireless pressure transducer to let you know if you have a flat tire.
Oh, so that's how Tesla knows when your tires are low and so forth.
Exactly, and in fact, that's how it reads the tire PSI.
Oh, that makes sense. I was like, how does it do that? Okay, so then what's our tip with the TPMS? Because I know that it's not something I think about when I buy wheels.
Buy them with Atomic.
Oh, okay, and you can get them with Atomic on that page.
Yes. Yeah, my advice would be buy them there. They're $40 as opposed to I paid $60 at the tire place, so you're going to save yourself quite a bit of money. You do need them. They are the tire stem, so it's not an optional.
Oh, I see. You can't leave that out.
But I didn't do that. I didn't realize that I needed the TPMS or that they didn't come with them, so that's one thing that you should remember.
Good tip. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about, Jesse, was the knurling. So there's something about knurling on the barrel. What does that mean?
That prevents slippage between the tire and the wheel on heavy acceleration and turning, which of course is something that you're never going to do in your Tesla, right? heavy acceleration. And I think that that's a really neat feature that they're offering to basically make a better wheel.
All right, so these atomic wheels, what makes them performance?
They're lighter. When you get forged wheels, they are typically lighter, and that means not just that your car is lighter, but it also means that they're taking up more space with less material, and that means that they can start accelerating faster. And we're talking about multiple pounds compared to the Tesla stock wheels, which is really, really cool. Essentially, it means that you get to spin up the wheels faster than you usually do. This also just all sorts of inertial properties while you're driving. It increases a whole bunch of different things. Also, I went for the slightly larger 19-inch wheels compared to my normal 18s, and that means that there's less rubber. Rubber is pretty heavy, especially when there's steel bands in it because it's a tire.
So one thing I want to say about winter, summer, is it depends on where you live. Especially if you're living in Arizona, you probably don't have to worry about winter as much. But there are places that I know of, like Maryland, where normally you would think winter's not a big deal. But then pretty much the past few years, they've been getting a winter.
Yep.
And even though their winter isn't like our winter with this much ice and stuff, they get snow. And on the days they get snow, everyone forgets how to drive. And they think they can drive the same way they always do, and then their car slips and slides. Well, my advice is switch to a winter tire, and then you won't have to worry about it, because that split second of extra traction that you get could mean the difference between an accident and not an accident. And so it's like, I can't prove a negative here, but I think that if you switch, you'll be glad you did if you get any kind of snow at all. And the thing is, a winter tire doesn't actually do magic on ice. It does magic on snow.
Yep.
And so in those southernish states where you do get some snow, I mean, we drove through Virginia once in a snowstorm in February, and no one knew what this was, this white stuff. And so I feel like those cars that had winter tires could actually behave properly on the road.
Absolutely. And the other piece to this is you might be like, oh, just buy an all season or buy an all weather tire. And it's like, it sounds good, all season or all weather. Oh, then I don't have to worry about it. You're getting the worst of both worlds, really. You're getting not so much traction. You're not really getting that good traction in the winter. Plus, they're like twice as expensive as summers and winters are.
And then efficiency-wise, you're getting less efficient tires.
The whole year, right? Versus the summer, you can go on those longer summer road trips. In the winter, you're at least being safe.
When enough people make false promises, words stop meaning anything.
I think that it's huge. And it's like, you know, getting a second set of tires has always been an investment. It is an investment. And I think that you may as well get an investment that actually improves the value of your car, instead of it just being like, yeah, there's another set of steely wheels. To have some cool looking wheels as your summer tire set, I think is really fun.
I thought of a problem though. These atomics look so good that I don't think you're going to want to switch them out when the winter comes.
Yeah, I mean, this is an 8-year-old car, and it's got some scratches and bumps and dings on it, and now I'm like, oh great, I have to wrap this car because the wheels look so good. Now keeping the car looking so good is going to be a lot harder.
What I love about Atomic is that they're a new brand. They're focused on premium forged wheels, and they've got a growing lineup of Tesla accessories. So if you've got a Tesla, head on over, check them out. I mean, we had the hardest time picking these wheels because so many of them look good, and I'm really glad we got these. They look awesome, but I mean, I can see how many of the other ones that were backups to these would look really awesome as well. I'm really surprised. I saw the wheels online and I thought they looked good, but I really couldn't picture them until I saw them in person. I don't even know if our video captures it. They just look amazing. It makes this Model 3 look like a Model S.
Yeah, well, they're so big. I mean, I think that this is the thing. Even if you're watching this on your TV at home, 100-inch TV, you're not getting the full effect. The full effect is wow, because it's a big thing. And we've noticed that with, you know, the Cybertruck and everything else. People don't know what it looks like until it's in front of them. The pictures don't do it justice. And it's the exact same thing with these wheels. It's an entire presence. And I know it sounds so like douchey to say, but because it takes up your whole field of view, and because it is so big, it really just changes the entire aesthetic of the car. It makes it look so much sportier.
And then lastly, if you're getting to the end of life of your car and you're thinking the next couple of years you might sell it, by getting a new set of wheels that are maybe a bigger wheel than you had before, when you go to sell it, it's gonna sell for more. I've been doing this long enough to know that will grab a lot more buyers, either on pictures or, you know, on the website or whatever, or in person. And so it's really a smart investment, I think, to do at any point.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to thank our friends at Atomic for partnering with us on this. This was a really fun partnership to do, and I think it's a really good thing to know that you don't have to just go to the Tesla.com website and you're stuck with the one offering that they might have for you. You can go to other places like Atomic and get really cool wheels for less. Thanks so much for being with us, everybody. We'll see you next time on Now You Know.